Do you sometimes feel like you don't know what to do with yourself in your future? Feeling excited about the future, but also scared of what is going to happen? Everything being uncertain stresses you out, and you will have a sleep problem, waking up in the middle of the night because of some nightmares. Those never happened to me, but all of them are happening to me now, and I didn't know how to deal with them, but I find reading this book has been really helpful, so I want to share it with those of you who might be going through the same stuff. So imagine our life is a movie and it ends right now. How would you feel that movie? Would you feel content, satisfactory, or would you feel regretful? Does it make a great movie? Do you think people would be willing to pay for it to see through it, walking out feeling being touched instead of requiring a refund? I don't know about you, but I know for a fact I wouldn't want to watch my own movie, simply because it's really boring. The author of this book, A Million Miles in a Thousand Years, Donald Miller, his life is turned into a movie. He's a writer, he wrote a memoir. Two filmmakers thought it has the potential to be turned into a movie, which by the way does not necessarily mean that his life is interesting or exciting by any means. But it sort of gave them a chance to look at his life in retrospect and to really relive and redesign his life. Well, to do so, the first step is really to realize how boring his original life is and to change that, which is not an easy task. And I remember a conversation between the three. Don questioned, "What is wrong with my original life?" And Steve said something like, "Well, in a pure story, there is a meaning in every scene, in every line of dialogue, and the movie is going somewhere." And Don felt really defensive. He knew that they weren't going anywhere, but he felt wrong for somebody else to say that. Ben added, "Don, your life, your real life is boring." At the end, Steve almost has to apologetically explain, "You know what, it's not about you. It's sort of true for all of us. Movies don't work like life." To me, what's the difference between a movie and a life is really life sometimes can be a collection of random experiences. We might be doing a lot of things, but they don't necessarily carry a meaning. When there's no clear meaning for life, life can become really boring, and nobody's gonna watch a movie that is boring. A movie, on the other hand, obeys certain rules. The essence of a movie is really a character who wants something, overcomes the difficulties and conflicts in order to get what he wants. It could be like whether a guy will be able to win the heart of a girl, whether a hero will be able to protect his people. So we need a story question in mind. Only so the narrative tractions will be gained and the movie will move forward. Otherwise, the movie will stall and be reduced into random experiences, and audience will become confused. I find this to be true to our life, at least to my life. So when I was younger, I wanted a lot of things. I wanted to be good at studying. I wanted to be good at basketball. I wanted to become popular, to have more friends. I was wanting a lot of things, but I would try several times and then give up. So I didn't really know the meaning of my life because the vision wasn't clear. I was wanting too many things. I was engaging in too many stories. Other times it would take me forever to gather the courage to actually engage in a conflict. And as I grow older, the situation got worse. I'm not only afraid of engaging in conflicts, but also shy away from wanting things. After you failed getting the things you want after trying several times, you get upset and frustrated. There will be more and more people around you, especially your parents. They will tell you, "Hey, you're no longer a 22 or 3 years old. It's probably about time for you to realize you need to let it go and settle down." They say it because they love you, but essentially they're asking you to give up on your own story. It's kind of like the guy discontinued to love the girl, or the hero stopped protecting his tribe. The story stopped right there because the meaning has been lost. And when there's no meaning, the story stops and we settle for pleasures, because the pleasures can be easily gained by just looking at your phone. But nobody's gonna watch a movie of a guy who is scrolling through social media the whole time, because it's pretty boring. But a lot of us actually living a life like that. So last week I had a migraine, which in most cases it would go away the next day, but it lasted for 3 days because I was super stressed out about the big thing that's coming up. I had sleep trouble, so I sometimes would go to bed at 9 o'clock just to give myself 3 hours to fall asleep. I would have nightmare and woke up in the middle of the night at 4 o'clock. At times like that, I would open this book and start reading. And it kind of, allowed me to see that there's a light at the end of every tunnel, and I just happen to be in one that is longer than others. It also allowed me to realize I am the author of my own story, and I actually have the agency to write the story the way that I want. So last week, I came back home after running 7 kilometers along the Griffin Lake after adjusting the big thing. It felt like a milestone to me, and at night I watched the newly released documentary, The Redeem Team, on Netflix, and I saw Kobe Bryant, and I just couldn't hold up anymore. I had a mental breakdown, which seemed to come out of nowhere. I cried my eyeballs out. I let out everything that I suppressed for so long. It was healthy, yeah. I felt it was good, and I felt really grateful for picking up Facebook. I felt really grateful for having someone like Kobe Bryant as my inspiration. Also felt really grateful for having a second chance to write my story, even though I pretty much fucked up in all of my previous stories, but I still got a chance. Yeah.